What do you think about what was it about who they were hiring during those days? I mean, I just had guys that just wanted to work constantly. And I think it was the same way for you down in Portland. What do you think it was that was going on at the time?
It was, I felt, and it's the same way I always felt in pararescue, was I did not ever want to be the weak link or seen. So you were running as fast as you can. In my mind, I was
Mm-hmm.
running as fast as I can just to make sure that I wasn't the slowest one. And that's what everybody else felt in their own way. And so it was, you were egging each other on. And it wasn't, I would even say, a rivalry. It was more like, hey, I did this. And you're like, oh, that's so cool. I want to do that. And I want to. So it was supportive and egging each other on. And it was having management. I think part of it was most of our group supervisors, a lot of them were Vietnam vets who then went into DEA when it was formed, in the early mid 70s. And they just kind of had a can-do attitude. It's like, go and do it. If you make a mistake and you make it trying to do the right thing, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you are doing it because you're lazy or you're corrupt or you're doing it for self-serving reasons, we'll come down hard on you.
Yeah.
There's no room for that. But don't be afraid to make mistakes if you're falling forward, if you're trying to do the right thing. So
Right.
that gave the confidence to us as young agents to go out there and to do our jobs. And the agents that I worked at, fellow agents that I worked with in Portland, and also you guys in Seattle, who we had a lot of interaction, you coming down and doing surveillance of targets coming down to Portland where we come in and help and vice versa. It was a very feeling of camaraderie, I think, within DEA as a whole. When you went to another office, there was just a lot of people wanting to help each other and egging each other on. And that's why, as I said, from the very beginning, I felt very comfortable because it was in very much the same way that I felt in pararescue.
Mm.
As far as the people they hired, well, I can tell you that when I went through the academy, that almost, I think 90% were either DEA hires were either former military or former law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
There was one that had just graduated from college, and that agent was a legacy, meaning that their parent was in DEA. So that's what the mindset was of people who had law enforcement background and military background. Whereas when I went through the DEA Academy, it was at the FBI. We were at the FBI Academy in Quantico. We shared space and dormitories and things. It was not separated like it is now.
Mm-hmm.
DEA has its own academy at Quantico, but it's geographically separated from FBI. When we went through, they were all together. And we actually got to know the classes. You got to know the FBI, the sister class, pretty well, and the people in it. And in contrast to our prior experience, which was, as I said, mostly law enforcement and military, the hires when I was going through the Academy of FBI were very predominantly attorneys and financial investigators. So it was a complete different mindset.